think every single part of the map scouted for, and guaranteed it's going to be a tough situation. Yesterday, though, was really interesting. No one dropped Slurpee Swamp in our trios. We have 2 players dropping there today. We'll see if they 50-50 half split that loot or decide to fight. But as you can expect in competitive Fortnite, these players are widely dispersed all the way to their favorite drop spots throughout the map. Yep, Psalm played as his comfortable skin as well. Psalm, of course, 2nd place at the Fortnite World Cup, took home $1.8 million. But you heard the crowd react because Mr. Fresh Asian is on screen right now, the winner back-to-back of the charity Pro-Am. And a big fight's going to ensue. Minkin's going to get taken out, and Mr. Fresh Asian starts us off with a bang.
Wow, that was absolutely unbelievable. Only the 3rd elimination so far this game, and it goes to Mr. Fresh Asian. The crowd definitely loved that one. Let's just take a look to see if Mr. Fresh Asian can keep up the momentum
he
from
knows he's
yesterday.
on screen right now.
Look
he's
at
smiling
him.
on us.
Let's see if Mr. Fresh Asian, can we get an emote? Oh, we're off camera now. She is here looking to take home some of that prize pool as well. We see Zora here getting grenaded and actually having to rebuild. Gets down to 15 health. He's going to have to box up here and think quickly.
And this could be tragic for Legacy's Zora, top player in this tournament, undoubtedly. Puts himself in a pretty bad spot. And someone, that's Volks actually, his teammate, his peer in the Australian side, another top player that is hunting, recognizes that Zora is tagged up right now. So in my eyes, Volks needs to continue to play aggressive here. The storm is going to be closing in momentarily, so he has to go fast.
Yeah, and he's not going to have to give him a chance at all to get any more minis off. Volks takes Zora out with that shotgun shot, completely dominating. He's going to pick himself up a bunch more resources, way more shields. He's looking very good going into the next zone. Getting those early eliminations is instrumental, especially when you're in this format, and every single point counts. You can see the crowd again going wild for Mr. Fresh Asian, who is rolling up on Will here, so we're going to have to see, will a fight ensue?
Oh my kid, she's been on a roll here, people, all weekend long with the puns. It is impressive. I gotta say, shout out to my co-commentator Pookie, but Mr. Fresh Asian is out for hunger right now, trying to eat, and Will is his food, is his prey. Let's see if he can come out with an elimination here. That would be his 2nd. And again, the aggression of Mr. Fresh Asian stands true. He knows he has Will weak. You can see Will's health points are a little bit hurt. Mr. Fresh Asian, meanwhile, has blue shield and green health points, but he's gonna get tagged up. This is a pretty rough spot for Mr. Fresh Asian. Will is now the aggressor. Mr. Fresh Asian needs to heal as fast as possible, as this will be a close one.
Mr. Fresh Asian down to 1 health. He was able to get 1 mini off, but is it going to be enough? Will is tracking, knows he did a ton of damage with that purple pump, and Mr. Fresh Asian has boxed up on the edge of the zone now. Will trying to use the harpoon gun to take out the floor, but Mr. Fresh Asian is going to use a cone to reinforce that. Is this going to end poorly for Mr. Fresh Asian? We're going to have to see. They've kind of backed off now, kind of feeling it out. It looks like a bug. Mr. Fresh Asian does still only have 1 health and 25 shield.
Oh my, and look at his inventory. Not many heals or shields, and actually no heals or shields in his inventory. So it's gonna be Mr. Fresh Asian with about 26 total health points going up against Will with maybe 33. An intense fight for sure. Neither of them have any ability to heal themselves. You wonder who's gonna come out on top. Mr. Fresh Asian went from being in such a great situation, but Will did a phenomenal job turning it around and regaining control.
Mr. Fresh Asian trying to bait him in here. It's going to come down to who...
Oh, he killed himself!
What?
Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me! He accidentally gets baited by Mr. Fresh Asian, jumps off the builds, and falls to his elimination.
Wow. He is starting to rotate. Volks is trying to rotate as well, hitting materials, getting as many resources as he can. Ooh. Hits the shot onto Fury. He goes and rips his shield completely off. Volks, though, gets tagged as well. Look at all of these players in the bottom right. This is going to be a bloodbath.
And this is what happens when you play the edge of the circle. When the storm closes in, you get into so many fights. Look at how many players are just gathered by that mountain right there. And one thing on Mr. Fresh Asian, not only did he not get the siphon, so when you get an elimination, you get 50 health, he also didn't get the elimination point. So he'll, of course, would have wanted to have that another way, but still, I'm sure he's glad to just survive. Still no heals, though, I don't believe. Meanwhile, we're on board with the 2 Australians, Volks and X2 twins, Jesse. A twin brother, Jordan, also competing in this tournament. They actually stream together under the X2 twins account. It is awesome quality content gameplay on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah, and you can see here, it looks as though all of the players had the same thing in mind. Go for the mountain, go for the high ground, try to get an edge up on their opponents, and I think a lot of them have bitten off a lot more than they can chew. So Volks now trying to look around him to see if he can get any kind of information as to where his opponents are going to be. He is sitting pretty low on his health, 107 in total health and shield. He needs a siphon to try and rotate into the next zone, or things are going to look very dicey for him very quickly.
That's a good call out.
Getting his shields ripped off as well. He is looking very low. Unfortunately, Mr. Fresh Asian goes down. He didn't go into that fight with very much. Spraz takes him out, but only had to hit one pellet because he only had 3 health left anyway.
Yep, and that was probably the result of the fight earlier. So not a good situation for Mr. Fresh Asian. Very unfortunate for him. Did not have many heals and got stuck in that early game fight, which ended up costing him. Did pick up 1 elimination. So of course we have games 2 through 6 still to be played. He'll want to bounce back. Now on board with Worthy. 3 eliminations for Worthy right now.
Yeah, and just like that in the elimination feed, you can see that Spraz gets taken out as well. So even though he was able to take out Mr. Fresh Asian, he goes down himself. Again, taking a look at Worthy here, just boxed up, trying to use those edits, get the tags as much as you can. As much as you can damage your opponent going into the final rotations, your life is going to be so much easier because you're just not going to have to hit as many shots to take them out. We can see Brewery still in here, Zexer over there as well. We've got Colt still in here, Scarlet. We've got a lot of players from OCE still in this. It's excellent to see.
Yeah, and that's a good call out. Australia didn't show up like they wanted to at the World Cup. We had Blink and Co. maybe top 80, but not the placements they would have loved to have had. Slay, I believe, top 65 or top 70. So this is a big proving grounds and moment for the Australia-New Zealand region. Of course, the Asian region as well, who's here participating. Brewery, one of those top players we saw yesterday come out with the Victory Royale. On board with Worthy from Australia. Starting strong with 3 eliminations. Tagging up phase replays, the Canadian from Cross Map.
Yeah, my poor Canadian. My heart goes out to him. Zextro having to build, but does take a lot of damage from Worthy. Worthy is just up there, just raining shots down. Nobody is paying attention to him, but he is able to get a ton of damage off. Storm Surge is likely not going to be affecting him at all. We have so many players still left in this lobby. If you take a look, the next zone, I predict about 20 players are going to fall just based on where they are.
Speaking of falling, TSM Zexro from Long Island originally going to get taken out of this one. So Zex is out and Worthy is in with 4 eliminations. And a rough spot hit, they're good headshot, but is not going to connect for the elimination. Worthy almost clutches up right there, but in a trading of eliminations there, Worthy did get taken out.
Yeah, he did. You can see that Jesse went down as well, so he's going to have to wait until the next game to prove himself today. We are sitting at 35 players left. We are not even close to the threshold. 25 is what you need to place or lower in order to be able to get any kind of placement points today in this lobby. Look at all of these players ready to make the early rotations to the next zone. You can see the zone just north. These are the moving zones. They are going to have to expend a lot of their resources, a lot of their materials, and getting those eliminations along the way to ensure that they're picking up the siphon as well as anything that their opponents are holding in their inventory.
So we have a pretty even distribution of regions right now. I saw Bell and Alice from Japan. Of course, we have many Australian and New Zealand players represented. Speaking of Bell, on board with the Japanese Bell right now. See what Bell can do with 0 eliminations, but trying to pick some up on the rotations. It's a good opportunity. People are tunneling and building their, which is basically using their builds and walls to build tunnels to survive into the next zone. And as they're tunneling, a lot of fights usually ensue. So they're going to try and pick up some limbs during this rotation. And as I say that, looks like some fights are going down towards the low ground. Meanwhile, aimbot.exe currently has high ground and finds Tina Rez. Tina from Gen G.
Look at all of these builds. This is an absolute mess for these guys to try to navigate, but this is what they're here for. This is what they're used to. Tina does drop down aimbot. Unfortunately, doesn't have any mats left. He was out.
Is that myth?
Was that myth? Oh, no. No, that was Tim. Tim Tapman's here.
Tim Tapman.
Yeah,
Tim's representing.
He's here competing today.
How many fall damage self-eliminations or eliminated by falls are we going to see in this one?
It's already
so
2.
Far, yeah.
We should get a fall counter.
Yeah, fall counter. Can we get on screen, please? Crazy.
Unfortunately, to go out like that, Tina does go down as well. A great fight from her. She is going to get those placement points, though we've got 21 players left in the lobby. CR Bell sitting on ultimate high ground. Benji Fishy is still alive. life.
Yeah, Benji just took out one, so that's going to give him 50 siphon, which he needed because he was low in health. Meanwhile, Symmetrical from CLG takes out Bob. Yes, there's a player named Bob, which is one of my favorite gamer tags so far. On board with Bell, who has ultimate high ground. So ultimate high ground means they're the highest person on the map, which is a great position to be in because you're just raining down fire on the enemy. Symmetrical playing with fire right now in the storm, going to be healing up. But meanwhile, Nyrox from Norway, our World Cup Duos champion, still alive in this one as well.
Yeah, he's going to take a second to utilize the minis. He's only got 2 left, so those are going to be it for him. And CR Bell able to take out another player. Does get hit, but he is going to be able to recover very nicely. Again, this is going to be it for him. These players are getting down to their final resources. Their shields, their mats are completely expended at this point.
Yep, Cypher picking up another elimination. Bell's going to tag one up. I've been very impressed by Eshes, the young Australian, who's picked up quite a few eliminations here so far and is still going. Cypher, speaking of which, is going to get taken out. Symmetrical now has ultimate high ground right above Eshes. Symmetrical from CLG in a great position to win this one. Ghost trapped. The controller player from Ghost Gaming still alive, full health, full shields. It's going to come down to the wire, Pookie.
Yeah, and what I can see here is Nyrox, again, methodically just moving through everything. I'd be surprised if he doesn't actually end up taking this victory royale right now. He still has the 2 medkits. Is he going to be able to get one off? We are going to have to see back to Bell, who is putting down those traps and using those to hopefully bait Nyrox, but unfortunately is going to take a ton of damage. Oh my goodness.
Trapped gets one. The controller player is representing, but look who it is. CLG Symmetrical with high ground. He's going to connect for the RPG. And the young NA West player is going to do it. His dad must be proud. The first game victory royale goes to CLG Symmetrical.
Symmetrical coming in with that first victory royale with 4 eliminations. How many more times between today and tomorrow are we going to see?
Symmetrical's face there, but points on the board for that victory royale. And yes, Trapped actually up on top. So many eliminations. While Symmetrical did come out with the victory royale, only half the eliminations that Trapped got.
Yeah, that's a good call out. So again, we keep bringing it up, but it is the eliminations. And again, the Australians hold the record for most eliminations in a cash cup, and it shows true here. Ghost Trapped with 8 eliminations and a second or third place finish. I think it was third place finish is in first place with 15 total points.
Yeah, those elimination points coming through real good there for Trapped. And you can see some of the other players that, you can play it out kind of either way. If you're going to get it aggressive, pick up limbs, which, translates into elimination points, then that's one way to do it. We saw Fresh coming out and trying to do a bit of that when you play really aggressively. But the problem with that is that it makes it difficult to get those placement points. If, look, there only one elim, he came aggressive, didn't work out. We go through the rest of our players here. Some of them, obviously, only one game in, sitting on nothing right now. But 5 more matches to work with. Plenty of time.